Is switching to keyboard and mouse actually worth it? Or are you best to stay with a controller? Well, I'm going to try and answer it for you today. This video might help you out if you are thinking about switching to keyboard and mouse, or maybe you have already switched to keyboard and mouse and you are just looking for a bit of clarification that it was a good idea. Well, I'm going to try and answer it for you today. You see me, I switched to keyboard and mouse back in December 2019. I did it because I mainly wanted to improve as a gamer and because I was getting destroyed by keyboard and mouse players on a daily basis, and I just knew that it was time to switch. I've been trying to compete. As everyone knows, I am on controller. I've been trying to compete, been there, I've done it, and this game is ever evolving and people are becoming better and better and better, and it must come to a point where I must switch to keyboard and mouse. So the time has come, and then as soon as I switched, this is what happened to aim assist.
Yo, from 180 to dead in a jump. That guy is an elite controller player abusing aim assist meant for children.
Yeah, so, you know, switching to keyboard and mouse was a frustrating process on its own. But then when I seen people were doing that with controller, you really think I wanted to be on keyboard and mouse? No, I didn't. It made it 10 times harder, knowing I could just plug a controller in and just turn aimbot on. Just like that. But I did stick with it, and now it is February the 1st of 2021. So around 1 year and 2 months since I switched. And, you know, was it actually worth switching? Well, we're going to get into it. But before I do, if you enjoy this video, be sure to smash that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, with the notification bell on, of course, and be sure to smash that like button. It helps me out so much, of course, if you enjoy the video. So let's get into the question: is switching to keyboard and mouse actually worth it? To come to the conclusion, I'm going to spot out a few pros and a few cons that I think are the most important when it comes to switching. Of course, it is no secret that right now in gaming, keyboard and mouse is most likely the most superior, which means if you switch to keyboard and mouse, you will most likely become a better gamer in the long term. So because of that, I'm going to start off with the pros of switching to keyboard and mouse. Let's start off with number one. I think this is the most important when it comes to switching, and I think it's the most obvious one. So number one is you will have more precise accuracy when it comes to your aim. Of course, controller does have aim assist, so you don't really have to try to have a good aim. Although that may sound really good for controller, you actually have a ceiling of how good you can make your aim. For example, when it comes to long-range shots, keyboard and mouse will be able to have such better accuracy from long range than controller will. So yeah, when it comes to switching, your aim will be so much better in the long term. It'll take more practice, but it is definitely worth it. The second benefit I'm going to get onto is that you can play more games on keyboard and mouse. What I mean by this is that in the future, it seems that more and more games are becoming keyboard and mouse dominant, or just keyboard and mouse. For example, Valorant or CSGO, you cannot play these games if you play on controller. And these are two really good and fun games to grind. And I guarantee that in the future of gaming, more and more games will be leaning towards keyboard and mouse. So for this reason, switching to keyboard and mouse will in fact allow you to play more games in the up and coming future. Let's get on to benefit number three. You will become a better gamer overall. This is no secret. Switching to keyboard and mouse gives you so much more optimization and will in fact improve you as a player in all aspects. I'm talking about mechanics, aim, like we've just covered, and like I said, optimization. It's no secret that keyboard and mouse have so many more keybinds than controller. Because of this optimization boost alone, keyboard and mouse will just naturally win in different situations. For example, switching weapons on controller is long and annoying. On keyboard and mouse, you can switch to any weapon in your inventory with one press of a key. So with the three benefits I have covered, I'm going to keep it short and just say them three benefits are the most important, and let's move on to the cons. So the disadvantages of switching to keyboard and mouse, some of these may be obvious to you, but let's start off with number one. You will be worse than you were on controller temporarily. Of course, switching to a brand new input can be really frustrating because you know for a fact that you can be better on controller in the short term. Switching to keyboard and mouse can vary for people. It can take 2 months to get used to, it can take 4 months to get used to, or it can take 1 year for you to be fully comfortable on keyboard and mouse. But like I said, this is temporary. So let's get on to con number 2, which is you will have to put extra time into improving your aim. So like I just mentioned, on controller, aim is really easy to get down. With the help of aim assist, half of your aim is assisted, obviously. Because of this, when it comes to aiming with your mouse, you actually have to do everything yourself. So you will have to practice short range tracking, medium range tracking, long range tracking, shotgun aim, all of that you will have to practice yourself and just build on improving it. For me, I found this really fun, but for others, people can find this frustrating, especially when you're used to controller helping you out in every single aspect with aim assist. Let's get on to con number 3, which is you will feel uncomfortable with movement for quite a long time. I'm not going to hide it and say that you will get used to movement super quick, because you won't. Using 360 movement on controller just feels so comfortable. And then when you switch to keyboard and mouse, yeah, it doesn't feel nice at all. And it takes a long time to get used to. Of course, with the new keyboards that are coming out, for example, the Wooting 1, or the keyboard that FaZe Martos uses that gives you 360 movement, you can combat the movement side of keyboard, but for every average Joe or for every normal person that's switching to keyboard and mouse, they're going to be using a normal keyboard. And yeah, movement can take quite a long time to get used to. So right there are the 3 pros and the 3 cons that come with switching to keyboard and mouse. As you can see, with all of the cons and all of the disadvantages of switching to keyboard and mouse, they are all just short-term problems, and in the long run, them problems go away because you do eventually get used to the movement, you end up getting good aim, and yeah, you just end up becoming a better player. So yeah, all of the disadvantages to keyboard and mouse eventually go. So let's get down to the conclusion. Is switching to keyboard and mouse worth it with all of these pros and cons that we have covered? The way I look at it is that if you have the time, the effort, and the dedication, oh, and especially the patience, switching to keyboard and mouse is 1000% worth it. You need to be willing to sacrifice a lot of time and deal with being worse than you were on controller, but that pain is only temporary and does eventually go away. Like I said, in the future, almost all games that get released will be continued to be dominated by keyboard and mouse, and most of them will be keyboard and mouse only. If you are a casual gamer, then controller may be more beneficial because you might not have the time to spend improving on keyboard and mouse. And I totally understand that. But if you are playing competitive and you want to continue playing competitive in the near future, in not just Fortnite, but in the whole of esports, then it's highly likely that you should probably switch. Remember, the earlier you switch, the better. So let's come down to the question we asked at the start. Is switching to keyboard and mouse worth it? For me, my answer has to be a solid yes. Switching to keyboard and mouse is one of the best things I ever did. Although it took a long time for me to be perfect on keyboard and mouse, I eventually did it, which made it worth it. And that will happen with you as well. When you switch to keyboard and mouse, you will go through some short-term frustration, but in the long term, you'll be so happy that you did it. Remember, let me know in the comment section below if you agree with me about it being worth switching to keyboard and mouse. I think so from a competitive standpoint, but like I said, let me know down below. Like I said at the start of the video, be sure to smash that like button and indeed smash that subscribe button with the notification bell on. I appreciate it so much, and then you know when I next upload. I'm going to end this video here. We've covered everything that we need to know. If you yourself need help switching to keyboard and mouse, I have so many videos on my channel that can help you out in every aspect of switching to keyboard and mouse. For example, how to improve your aim, as I'm showing on the screen now. That video can help you out a lot. Be sure to go and follow me on Twitter as well, Zireh_. I would really appreciate it. And on that note, I'll see you guys on the next video. You see these videos I've got popped up on the screen? Yeah, they'll help you out. If you want to switch to keyboard and mouse, then videos will help you out. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.